Welcome to another episode of DisWiz Dollars. I'm Carson, and as we wrap up 2025, I hope that your holidays were amazing. I spent an amazing time with family and friends over the holidays. So, as we wind down 2025, this is the last week. So, I'm actually going to be looking forward at 2026 because I'm super pumped as what's coming to Disney and Universal in 2026 and beyond. So, grab your coffee, grab your Mickey ears, and let's have your money meet the magic. Let's get into today's video of what I'm excited for coming to Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World in 2026 and some updates for DisWiz Dollars. So let's get into today's video. First up is Disney. So as the recording of this video, the Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios is slotted to close in March of 2026 and will reopen in summer of 2026 with a new theme to Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem with the Muppets. So I'm super excited for that overlay. And I'm also excited to experience the Zootopia Better Zootopia show that I haven't seen that is now open at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disney's Animal Kingdom will see the closure of Dinosaur. So get your rides in while you can. As the recording of this video, on February 1st, 2026, it will close and Dinoland USA will just be a distant memory. I will miss Dinosaur. However, I'm super excited for the Tropical Americas and the Indiana Jones attraction and the Encanto Dark Ride. And more importantly, the increased capacity to Disney's Animal Kingdom because let's be honest, they need it. I love Disney's Animal Kingdom. I know I'm in the few minority with that. I think it's one of Disney's best and most immersive theme parks that they've put out. However, some people don't agree with me, so I will be looking forward to the Tropical Americas coming to Walt Disney World, but that will not be opening in 2026. It'll be 2027. Over at Hollywood Studios, construction is well underway for a new Monsters Inc. land in Monstropolis with the first ever suspended coaster coming to Walt Disney World and Disney Parks. So I'm super excited for that land. I believe that will not open till 2027 or 2028. But still super excited for the added capacity to Hollywood Studios. And like I said before, I'm a huge Muppets fan, so I'm just glad we are still getting some Muppets at Hollywood Studios. And I'm also excited for Magic Kingdom because construction has started on the new Cars Land, which is going to be different from the Cars Land at Disney California Adventure. So it will be Piston Peak. So that is well underway. The rivers of America are no more. They're completely drained and walled off to the public, so you can't walk around the rivers of America or take the riverboat around the rivers of America either. But I'm super excited for 2026 and beyond at Magic Kingdom and the different construction that's happening around the parks, because it just means that more construction with more capacity added will help enhance your day at Walt Disney World. Over on the West Coast, I am going to plan to go to Oogie Boogie Bash in 2026 after my credit cards are paid off. So if you don't follow along with the channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe because there is a smart money component to DisWiz Dollars to have your money meet the magic. So I'm aggressively paying off all my credit cards. I'm sick of them, and Mickey told me that before I can enjoy some of the Disneyland magic, they need to be paid off. Also doing the $5 a day investing challenge here on the channel, so look for updates periodically with that. So super excited for DisWiz Dollars and how that intertwines with the Disney parks and how I can have your money meet the magic by watching and giving my full opinion to see if it's worth it, because none of my videos are sponsored or hosted by Disney or Universal. So this comes out of the DisWiz Dollars pocket. So I have an actual job as a financial analyst. So like I said, I'll give my full review and opinion to see if it's worth your money because I paid for it. So I think that's really important. And that's kind of why I started DisWiz Dollars. But let's go ahead and look into Universal Orlando in 2026 and Universal Hollywood. So over at Universal Orlando, Epic Universe is well underway and open. It's been open since May of 2025. And I would just like to say, I loved Epic Universe. I can't wait to go back and shoot more content. I think having experienced the park for the first time in June of 2025, I have a lot of insights as to what I would change. when I go back to Epic Universe, so from the Isle of Berk, How to Train Your Dragon Land, to the Universal's Dark Monsters Land, Super Nintendo World, how they intertwines with some of my Switch content, and spoiler, I did get a MetaQuest 3S from my wonderful girlfriend Laura, so expect more content of how to take the magic home with you. But back to Universal, they are well underway with Epic Universe, and I just want to say I can't wait to go back there in 2026. I will be staying on site at Universal at some of the value resorts to see how those pan out. The Terra Luna and I believe it's the Terra Nova Resort. I'm going to be staying there to see how they compare with some of, say, like the All Star Movies resorts, Pop Century, and if you should just skip it, stay at Disney and go over to Universal. Also, super excited for Universal Hollywood. I believe the new Fast and Furious Drift Coaster will be opening in 2026 ahead of the Olympics that's set to be in Los Angeles in 2028. So super excited for that. Do plan on going to Universal Studios Hollywood once all my credit cards are paid off. So look for those content videos out there and where I stay and how your money can meet the magic and not break the bank, because when you stay at Disneyland and Universal Hollywood, things are more expensive on the West Coast. So super excited for that, and to have the different content available for you as well as to which hotels are the best value for your money, whether it's a Disney value resort like All Star Movies. That's one of my personal favorites as far as the Disney magic and the value it provides. And I also plan on staying at Disney's Pop Century to see how that shapes out. The Art of Animation Resort, I'm also going to plan to stay there as well. And I might mix in some of the other moderates. There are videos out there on the channel where I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside and the cabanas over at Coronado Springs. So I love Disney moderate resorts. So we're going to continue to show you what value you can find at these resorts, and might even throw in a night or two at a Disney Deluxe resort with my wonderful girlfriend. So stay tuned for that and see how that pans out. Might be contemporary, so stay tuned. She doesn't know that, so if you watch this, so if you see this, Laura, I do plan on staying there a couple of nights, so we'll have to work it out with the new addition to the DisWiz family, August Blue. So in the spirit of DisWiz Dollars, I'm actually going to give you my recommendations for a couple of resorts you can stay at, either Disney or Universal in 2026. If you're staying at Disney, one of the best value resorts that you can stay at is Pop Century. Again, I have never stayed there, but just from the prices and the access to the parks from the Disney Skyliner, this resort is fantastic because you can take the Skyliner, it connects at Caribbean Beach, and you can find your way over to Disney's Hollywood Studios or Epcot. Over on the Universal side, I love Cabana Bay. So I haven't stayed there since 2019 before COVID. So I'm super excited to get back there and see how things have changed, if it's still a great value resort. I do prefer to stay at Lowe's Sapphire Falls. If you can bump up your budget a little bit, Lowe's Sapphire Falls is pretty much Universal's equivalent to like a Disney's moderate resort, which includes a water taxi over to Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. So highly recommend that resort. So again, I'm going to be staying at a lot of these different resorts to give you my opinion. And again, this channel is not sponsored by Disney or Universal yet, unless they want to. So this is all my money, all my thoughts and opinions on it. So again, hit like and subscribe if you want more content like that. And also, I'm going to plan to take my own food into the theme parks, because I've noticed the food quality has started to go down in the theme parks post-COVID. So I'm going to be trying that out on a Bring Your Own Food Challenge day. So look forward to those videos. So here are a couple of things to keep in mind to save money and have your money meet the magic, whether you're going to Universal or Disney. So one of my recommendations is to always book early. So if you have a roundabout time of when you want to visit, and here's the thing, Disney and Universal, there's not really an off season like there used to be. So a lot of people will give you specific dates. I would say just try to work around your own schedule, because you probably, like myself, only have limited PTO time. So if there's a time that you want to go, one of my personal recommendations to go to these theme parks is mid to late September. You can run into hurricane seasons, but if you can swing it, and if you're single or a couple or you have kids, you can take them out of school, and that tends to be a little bit cheaper than. So I really enjoy going mid to late September to Orlando. Now, with one of my bucket list items being Oogie Boogie Bash, I plan to go to in 2026. That strategy might change, but the rules still remain the same. As far as one of my recommendations is to book early, kind of just have an idea in mind. So the sooner you book, the cheaper the rates are. My second recommendation is to go to the Disney or Universal's website. Always check the hotel discounts. They have a lot of, on Disney's side, free dining plans for kids, but the room only discounts tend to be a little bit better of a discount because they won't let you double dip as far as Disney goes. So it's not like you could get the free dining plan for yourself or your kids plus the hotel discount. And typically the hotel discount is a lot better, especially for annual pass holders like myself. I believe right now through the end of April, you can get roughly around 35%. Now, that's not a 35% across the board. It does change in the different tiers that you go on the hotel. So the 35% would typically be on, say, like the deluxe resorts, and then you go down to the moderate, should be around like 30 to 25%, and then the value resorts would typically be around 15 to 20%. But nonetheless, anytime you can save on the hotel, definitely check out the websites, and on the Universal side as well. They've got a lot of discounts on their hotels as well. My third recommendation for going into 2026 and you want to go to Disney and Universal is to think about how many days you want to actually go to the theme parks. So having used to go to theme parks for 8 or 9 days at a time without a rest day in between, I don't think that's realistic anymore. So that's why I try to build in a rest day into my schedule. So if you do go in 2026 and you plan to go, my recommendation is to plan out how many days you go, because what Disney and Universal do, they want you to spend all of your available free time at their resorts and kind of not think about the other resort that much. So you tend to get more discounts the more days you have on your ticket. For annual pass holders, that doesn't really matter because you pay in advance for an entire year, and I don't have blackout dates. But I do pay for the highest tier annual pass. So honestly, a little planning goes a long way to have your money meet the magic. So that's just some of my tips for visiting Disney and Universal in 2026 and beyond. And a little planning goes a long way, so that can enhance your magic. And also just kind of take it in, because you're also on vacation, so you want to make sure that you're not just going to go. I know when I'm there shooting content, it can kind of feel like my job, so I had to take a step back. Now I'm just making videos for the fun of it. If I get a lot of views, great. If I get low views, great as well. But you can kind of take that same mentality for your vacation. You're probably not going to have a perfect Disney day. I know I see a lot of videos out there, the perfect Disney or Universal day. But the problem is sometimes it may be less than perfect. So just enjoy the time, laugh about it. If you're with family and friends, enjoy the time, because you never know when the last time you'll see that person is. So now I want to hear from you. Which resort are you planning to stay at in 2026 and beyond? Are you excited to go to Epic Universe if you haven't been? I know a lot of people have put off their trip to Universal to go in 2026. Are you going to stay at Disney or Universal? Or are you going to do a split stay? Are you going to stay at a deluxe or a moderate? So let me know down in the comments. So as we wrap up 2025, I just want to say thank you for the continued support and the views on the videos. So I have a lot of different content planned for 2026 at DisWiz Dollars. As you can see, the sign is now up. So we're now legit. We're too legit to quit. So make sure you hit like and subscribe for more content like the magic. Again, we do theme park, smart money, collecting with some nostalgia sprinkled in. And I'm not paid or sponsored by Disney or Universal, unless you want to be Disney or Universal. So as we wrap up 2025, I want to say a thank you to all you who have supported, liked, shared, and viewed the videos. And as always, I hope your money meets the magic, and I'll see you in the next one. It'll probably be 2026. So I'll see you on the other side.